Hello and welcome to Entirely English and our little mini-series on weights and measures. I decided to do this because one of my lovely students asked me, is it true that the British still use miles and feet in measuring? The answer is yes and no. In 1971, we became decimalized, which means we took on the base 10 in all measurements, whether it be liters, centimetres, and centigrade or Celsius, as people say now. Before that, we had what was called the Imperial system, and we would measure in feet. 1 foot is roughly the size of your foot. And this goes right back to the ancient Romans, the ancient Greeks, and even before that, people measured in feet, or hands were also used as a measure. Why? Because when you're doing something like that, and you don't have modern technology or a standard system, you use what's available. So if you want to build a house that's 10 feet by 10 feet, so you pace it out, 1, 2, 3, 4, down. So it's going to be square, exactly 10 feet by 10 feet. And a foot was composed of 12 inches. An inch is roughly the width of a man's thumb. So if you wanted to measure something, you would get hold of it and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 15 inches long, roughly, or a foot and 3 inches. And the next unit of measurement is a yard, which is 3 feet, or roughly the distance when you step. That is 3 feet. So if you wanted to build a room 9 foot by 9 foot, you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we have miles. Now, a mile is 1,760 yards, or 5,280 feet. So in 1971, when we became decimalized, our mathematics became much simpler. Dividing things by 10 and hundreds or multiplying them by that is much easier. But we still tend to think in feet and inches. And in fact, our road signs are still in miles rather than kilometers. And the speedos in our car show miles per hour, although there's an inner circle generally on the speedo which shows kilometers an hour, so you can drive in Europe. But a foot is not only available on your body to measure with, it's also a simple thing to think about. So I can look at my computer monitor and think, oh, it's roughly 2 foot wide. But if I wanted to do that metrically, what is it, half a meter, 60 centimeters, 40 centimeters? It's difficult to visualize centimeters. It's easy to visualize feet. And likewise, it's easy to visualize miles. So the distance from my town to the next town is 15 miles. To convert that to kilometers is you divide it by 8 and multiply by 5. You can do those maths. If I said my friend is 6 foot tall, easy to visualize. It's like 2 steps, 2 yards. If I say my friend is 1 meter 80, that's difficult to visualize unless you know somebody else who's 1 meter 80 and you can say, oh, all right, he's the same height as Frank. So as I said, feet and inches, these go way back to ancient times. And as I said, the foot has had many sizes officially over the centuries. So the ancient Roman foot was roughly 9 inches. Our modern foot is 12 inches. And because it could be confusing, you say, back in the ancient times, you say, I want a house that's 10 foot square. The person building that house might have smaller feet than you, and you're like, oh, my house is too small. So Edward I standardized the foot. He set the foot as what we regard as 12 inches, which is roughly 30 centimeters, give or take a millimeter. And then the division of the foot by the thumb is 12. So with the standardization of the foot and the division into inches, then we had standardization of miles. And again, I can visualize a mile. If you say this is 2 miles away, I can visualize it. If you say it's 2 kilometers away, I have to do the maths and convert it into miles or in parts of miles. And in depth, when a ship wanted to know how deep the water was that it was traveling through, for more information on Navy, look at the series on naval idioms. When they were testing how deep the water was, they would throw out a rope with a weight on the end, and every 6 feet, just under 2 meters, there'd be a knot in the rope. And that 6-foot length was called a fathom. So throw out the rope, it'd go 1 fathom, 2 fathoms, 3 fathoms, 4 fathoms were clear. They can sail on and throw out the rope again. 2 fathoms, it's getting too shallow. So depths were measured in feet as well. And again, that gets more complicated with leagues. So it's over 50 years since we became decimalized, but we still have feet and inches and miles in our systems. The meter is a strange one because, the damp in a wall rises to exactly 1 meter high. So I don't know if that's where the original meter was based, but I'd rather base my measurements on parts of my body, which I have available, than on damp in a building. Now, the Americans still use what they call the Imperial measurement. It is different. An inch in America is a different size to an inch in Britain. And apparently, that foot standardization is still being changed. Even in 2022, there was a recommendation by the Institute of Standards and Technology, the National Geodetic Society, and the United States Department of Commerce that the foot measurement be changed to what is recognized as the international foot. So it's difficult to understand what is happening in America with their imperial system and why they reverted to imperial after they were metric for a while. But that's their history, and we're looking at British history. We use feet, inches, yards, miles, and there's furlongs and chains, and it gets very complicated. And I have no idea how my ancestors managed to get any qualifications in school. We'll look at this complication more when we come to the old British money before decimalization. And that's really, really strange. Okay, I think the next one we'll do the measures of liquid, gallons versus liters. But the simple answer to the question is yes and no. We use metric and imperial. Feet, yards, inches, centimetres, meters, kilometres. Whatever's more convenient to our minds at the time. So if you found this interesting or you want to comment on it, do put some information in the comment box. If you enjoyed this, do please click the like button. If you want to stay up to date, click subscribe. And do, if you know somebody who would be interested in this, share it. And I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.